again and welcome to the show. As always, I'm your host Jason McNeil and this is Cup of Joe Canada. Now today on the show, I want to discuss something of a divisive issue. It's regarding a bill recently put forward, or not a bill, sorry, a motion recently put forward by MP Iqra Khalid. Okay, now this is you probably heard of it, the anti-Islamophobia motion that was put forward in Parliament recently. Now, first and foremost, I would like to point out, regardless of where you stand on the issue, a motion in Parliament is non-binding. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's symbolic, right? It's not a law. It's not a bill. It's not something that's being put into legislation. It's just a motion. It sort of sets the direction. It says this is where Parliament stands on an issue, right? It's strictly symbolic. So having said that, you'll see in the news there's going to be some pushback. There's some conservative MPs that don't like the wording of the bill of the motion, and so they're sort of pushing back. They're maybe trying to rewrite it or whatever. And then you have the other side that's saying this is the motion that we want. We will not water it down, and this is the way we want it to go forward. Okay, so my problem with this, I think on all sides, is generally posturing. Right? This is all just using people's emotions to gain votes on either side of the issue. Right? And you can say that it's the conservatives being hateful, or you can say it's the liberals posturing and trying to put the conservatives in a corner. Either way, it's our politicians, and I don't think it actually has anything to do with us. I don't think they care about what's going on the ground. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's just a way to sort of, make people make statements that make other people emotional. And it's really, it's really bothersome to me. Part of my problem is, okay, so let's say it's a motion going forward, and it doesn't really mean anything. It's non-binding. It's just symbolic. But it goes forward and it gets reported, and this is why we can have a Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, that is doing so much nicer and so much better, but still imposing all of Harper's policies. Because we can say one thing while doing another thing, because we have these motions that say we mean this, and then we don't actually have to do anything about it. Maybe we should just do less of that altogether, right? Maybe we should just stop saying symbolic stuff and do the work, right? Now, the next thing is, you'll have people on both sides, people that will say, okay, well, it's the singling out of Islamophobia against other religions says that you're sort of putting this above other things and it's more important. Other people say, no, the bill is about Islamophobia and all religious bigotry, because it says that in it. Now, all I can say to that is singling out is singling out. And I said the same thing when it regarded the gay-straight alliances. Look, a gay-straight alliance is about telling people not to bully gay people, not to bully gay kids. It's not about the fat kid. It's not about the body shaming. It's not about racist bigotry. It's about gays and straights and people that are gay being accepted and not bullied. That's what it's about. Now, it might have other goals and causes and everything else too, but top billing is this. Same thing here, right? Top billing is Islamophobia. Anti-Semitism, bigotry against Christians, bigotry against Hindus, none of these are specifically mentioned. And even if they are, I have another point regarding the wording, because I do believe words are important. Now, here's what I would say. Outside of all of the posturing on both sides, I'm average Joe Canadian, and I believe that my problem with this strictly comes from the idea that you say Islamophobia, right? Now, Islamophobia is pertaining to Islam. Now, we can argue whether you're putting that first over Christianity and all the other ones, or if it's just symbolic. But Islam is what? It's a religion. It's an ideology, right? It's not a race. It's not a skin color. It's not a sexual orientation. It's a religious ideology. And as such, like all religions, it has a spectrum, right? It has extremely perverse interpretations of it, and it has very moderate interpretations of it. It has believers that range that spectrum, right? In Canada, we don't protect Islam. We protect Muslim Canadians. We protect individuals. We don't protect Christianity, we protect Christians. Now, if something happens to a Muslim in Canada, that's not a crime against Islam, it's a crime against a Muslim Canadian. And it should be prosecuted and punished as such. Anti-Muslim discrimination, definitely, we should all be against it. But when you say Islamophobia, again, words have meanings. And if you go outside of Canada to other regions, other areas, other countries, Islamophobia has different connotations. It has different meanings to different people, because Islam has different meanings to different people. Now, my main point in this is that when you try to protect the ideology itself or the religion itself, that means that you're sort of putting it beyond criticism. And I'm sorry, the point of separating church and state is that you can criticize religion, right? All interpretations of Islam are not acceptable in Canada. All interpretations of Christianity probably are not acceptable in Canada. But there are acceptable interpretations, and that's what we're getting at. If you're a Muslim in Canada, you should be protected from any hate, for any reason. But however you want to interpret any set of beliefs is open for debate. It's discussable. It's open for us to discuss and to question. And as soon as you sort of remove the right to question, and again, you can say it's just words, right? Oh, it's just words. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, the Conservatives rewrote the bill, removed the word Islamophobia, but kept the wording regarding all religious discrimination. It was flatly rejected. Now, why would you do that? Why would you flatly reject a religious discrimination bill that didn't single out one religion and then say, well, it's not important, but those guys are racist because they don't support this one, right? Again, it's all just posturing. Now, I would say that when you get to the religion itself and the ideology and the like Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, these things, they're not protected by our charter, okay? The people who practice them, the people who follow these beliefs, they're Canadians, they're protected, of course. And that's what I think we need to distinguish, right? I think it's very important that we distinguish between these two things. So, again, that's how I feel about it. I think it is the Islamophobia, the word, and the creep of an ideology into the realm of politics. At the end of the day, it's about confusion. It's about being clear what we mean. Islamophobia is a very ambiguous term that could mean many things to many people, and it doesn't fly with me. I don't think it's a good idea to start introducing that direction into Canadian politics. I would very much say if you put anti-Muslim, anti-Jew, anti-Jewish, anti-Christian, anti-Hindu, any of these things, yes, I very much think all of the individuals that practice whatever religion they practice should be protected within the Canadian Constitution, and they are. We have hate speech laws, we have freedom of religion, we also need freedom from religion, right? We need people of any religion to understand your religion you practice, nobody in that religion can tell you that you've committed a crime against that religion, because you haven't. The crimes are defined by the Criminal Code of Canada, right? And it has to remain that way, and we have to make it clear. I'm not saying that this passing of a motion is going to become law, and I don't want to be a fearmonger. I'm just saying that I understand what people's apprehensions are, and to just say they're being racist is very irresponsible, in my opinion. Again, that's just me, Cup of Joe Canada. I'm Jason McNeil. You can hit me on the website at cupofjoecanada.com. You can always get me on Twitter at Cup of Joe Canada.